This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 2133, Building Your Routine by Danae Smith of thiswondrouslife.com. And I'm Justin Malik, the guy who's been reading to you from articles, book excerpts, and more every day, including holidays, for over 5.5 years, covering personal development or self-help, how to live a better life, and a lot more. Now let's get right to another post and start optimizing your life. Building Your Routine by Danae Smith of thiswondrouslife.com. We spend the first 18 to 22 years of our lives with some form of routine or structure. Take, for instance, school. In a general experience, you grow up with the routine of waking up and going to school, followed by extracurricular activities. The moment one leaves that, it falls into their hands. For me, it was at the end of my college days that sustaining a consistent structure was my responsibility. No longer did I have a set of classes to attend from 9 to 4 p.m., followed by a dinner or night shift at the campus coffee shop. No longer were my friends just a hop and a skip away for a hang. Life after college revealed to me the value of having structure and how intentional we have to be to sustain it. It wasn't until about 4 years ago that I was drawn to this concept of a routine. I could feel my life falling into a steady pattern that was not life-giving. It was honestly empty and time-wise wasteful. Choosing to pursue a consistent routine for each morning and evening was the wake-up call I needed. Since then, it has been an invitation and challenge I step into. It hasn't been a cakewalk, but it has transformed how I approach each day. Having a daily routine or system, as James Clear would say, has kept me grounded, providing a safe harbor to lean into when life swirls. Unexpected circumstances arise. Work gets busier than usual. Life honestly happens. We can all make a laundry list of how life can spiral within a moment. Having a daily routine has given me a harbor of familiarity and consistency that when everything else may be in an abnormal state, this one part of my day is not. It has allowed me to remain connected to myself and heart. Developing a daily routine has also given me space to connect with myself and my heart before I start my day and when I end it. Having this in place has helped me to not disconnect from myself as the day unfolds. It has made room for creativity to flourish. Having a routine has fostered creativity in the most practical way possible. I incorporated creativity in my routine. Whether it's writing for a few minutes or reading something, creativity has flourished because I made room for it by connecting it to my daily routine. And it has instilled new, healthier habits. There have definitely been times that my routine didn't go as planned. I wake up late, or work required me to come in earlier or leave later. Even so, because I've been doing it a while, the activities that were part of my routine became habitual that even when things didn't go as planned, I was able to weave it into my day. All this to say, I'm leaning into this space more this year. Last year was a whirlwind of transition and newness that had become lackadaisical with my systems. I started James Clear's Atomic Habits and has confirmed the value and importance of having systems, or as I would say, routines. I'm a firm believer in having a daily routine, and in having one, it helps sustain the pursuit of everything else. Clear writes, quote, "The purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game. True long-term thinking is goalless thinking. It's not about any single accomplishment. It's about the cycle of endless refinement and continuous improvement. Ultimately, it is your commitment to the process that will determine your progress." End quote. For so long, I was super goals, setting goals, planning goals, achieving goals. I never understood why none of it seemed to sustain, or I felt dissatisfied after, until I read the previous quote. Hear me out. Having goals and setting them is good. It's not a bad thing, but having a system is what sustains you. Why? Because it actually allows you to not only achieve your goals, but to thrive after it's been attained. When we live to just achieve or gain something, we will always feel restless or even discontent. But when we live committed to the process, as Clear writes, when we live out our systems leaning into small changes daily, we have more we are going after. We have more to stand on. Now, all this is fine and dandy, but how do we actually do this? There are 4 things I associate with building a routine: decide, ask, write, and live. Decide. Before anything else, you have to decide you want change. You have to make the intentional choice to shift the pattern of your daily life. Ask. Check in with yourself. Your habits and tendencies are important in building a routine. Examining the flow of your day-to-day, the habits you've formed, and asking the right questions is also crucial. James Clear has a cool resource to help with this called the Habit Scorecard. This resource allows you to assess your daily habits so you're able to see where you want to change. Write. The discoveries you make when asking yourself questions and examining your patterns help shape what your routine needs. From there, you got to write it down. Visualize what you want to do differently. Define what you desire your daily routine to look like and write it down. And live. After all of that, you simply have to do it. Building a routine or developing new systems is not instantaneous. It requires daily commitment and active choice. It is a constant pursuit. It's a practice of self-awareness and connection. It truly is a day-by-day process, but it's in the action that you truly find what works, what's needed, and what you can do without. Quote, when you fall in love with the process rather than the product, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. You can be satisfied anytime your system is running. And a system can be successful in many different forms, not just the one you first envision. James Clear. As we pursue living intentional lives, we have to fall in love with the process. We cannot be so fixated on outcomes and results that we miss the best part, the journey. What I love about this quote is the last line, and a system can be successful in many different forms, not just the one you first envision. I've seen this firsthand. My daily routines have transformed over the years. They've taken different shapes as the season required. Yet what has remained is the heart of it and the framework. It may look different each day, but the intention remains the same. This year, my dream is to truly live out my systems. I want to clarify my intentions and put purpose behind each activity. Every moment, every task and experience is an invitation to intention, slowness, and wonder. I desire to not just build routines and systems to be trendy. I desire to build these things to sustain and thrive in the life I create. You just listened to the post titled Building Your Routine by Danae Smith of thiswondrouslife.com. Hey, so are your home and auto policies almost up for renewal? Let Policygenius look for a lower rate for you. Policygenius makes it easy to compare home and auto insurance in one place. They can help you find home and auto coverage similar to what you have now, but at a lower price. In fact, they've saved customers an average of $1,250 per year over what they were paying for home and auto insurance. Their team will handle the paperwork to set up your new policy or switch over your current one. Getting started is easy. First, head to policygenius.com and answer a few quick questions about yourself and your property. Then Policygenius takes it from there. They'll compare rates from America's top insurers, from Progressive to Allstate, to find your lowest quotes. The Policygenius team can look for ways to save you more, including bundling your home and auto policies. If they find a better rate than what you're paying now, they'll switch you over for free. Their top-notch service has earned Policygenius thousands of 5-star reviews across Trustpilot and Google. Head to policygenius.com to get started right now. Policygenius. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right. And thank you to Danae. It's a good tip about goals versus process. Even with this podcast, I get the question, often from other podcasters, how do you manage to release an episode every single day or produce 35 episodes a week and get through all of that content? Well, I never set a goal, I can tell you that. I made sort of fake goals in my head, like, I can't wait until this show gets 1,000 listens. That'd be amazing. I think that goal was broken within a week of launching, maybe even days. So then I remember thinking, okay, by the end of 1 year, I want to get to 100,000 listens. That was done in only 7 weeks. After that, I stopped paying attention to those types of goals and instead focused on the process of adding more shows and growing those too. I learned to enjoy the building of the systems, and now it's just sort of ingrained in me. It's what I do. I think that's what people who have been exercising consistently, for example, for years, that's what they would say. They might have had a goal to lift a certain number of pounds or work out X number of times per week. But after some time, it's probably just their lifestyle. They might still track the numbers of sets and reps and the weight or whatever, but maybe there is no more goal. I think that's totally okay. Some other authors we have agree too. I remember Leo Babauta of Zen Habits had a post years ago about getting rid of goals. But hey, if they're helping you, maybe don't get rid of them. Instead, see if anything you heard today makes sense for you or for where you're struggling with progress. Maybe today's post can make the difference. Let me know how it goes. Thank you for listening and being here and for subscribing to the show. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll be back tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.